Good afternoon, and today I'm going to talk about some vintage toys. I'm often asked, how exactly do you get into the vintage toys things? Well, with me it was simple. I went looking for a toy that my dad bought me when I must have been about 5 years old, so we're going back a fair bit now. And it was the most interesting toy I think I ever had. Not only that, it's also probably one of the hardest ones to find in a complete in box state on eBay. Well, it was up until maybe about a year ago when one appeared and I jumped on it. Probably paid a little too much for it, but that was just absolute childhood desire that I had to have it again. And it was this guy. It was Dennis Fisher's Cyborg. And he came in a box as well. Not only did he come in the box, he came with everything that was originally inside the box as well. This the smaller version of the ancient cyborgs released by Dennis Fisher in the early 70s in the UK. He came with two wee weapons, that's these ones. And the reason you have problems trying to find them complete is that the bolt for the eliminator is usually missing. Fire that across the room when you're 5 years old, you never find that again. The other reason that they're kind of tough to find in complete state is their interchangeable nature. The hands pop off, as do the feet, and to fix the weapons on, it's a simple case of taking that part of the arm off and popping that on. More often than not, this is the bit that goes missing. Torso is easy to find, complete cyborg with bolt, not quite so easy. Now, he's the good guy, and with any good guy, you have a bad guy. And this was the bad guy, Muton. Same setup again, interchangeable stuff, but Muton was slightly different from Cyborg in that he didn't actually have weapons. Well, he did. He came with two weapons that fitted onto his arms, much the same way Cyborg did. These two. And it's usually his hands that are missing because you fix these on by just taking a hand off, popping it on. Bob's his uncle, he's ready for battle. But as I was saying, he was slightly different from Cyborg, and that instead of having weapons that you attached to him, he had outfits that you could change him into. And they all came with this little thing here, this little bit of information, if you like. For Muton you had the Torg, the Amalok and the X-Acron. Amalok's probably the easiest one you'll find. Torg, it's fairly easy as well, but you'll pay good money for that one. And X-Acron's a little bit more difficult to find complete. To give you an idea what they look like, this here's the Amalok. This here's the X-Acron. And they make quite an interesting little collection altogether. I've yet to find the Torg to go with them. But I'm on the case, so hopefully that will happen soon. Now, good guy, bad guy, what else do you add into it? Well, shortly after that, along came Android, and he's another bad guy. And Android was different in that there's a little button in the front there, it won't work because of the stand. You push a button, his chest flaps open, exposing two missile firing areas, and again you only got two of them when they came with the Android figure itself. And these are the days when they weren't really that bothered about children losing eyes or the PC section. Going heavens above that's firing rockets, I must protect my children by banning this toy. In those days the springs inside these things were actually fairly strong, and the missiles flew forever. They were great. I was lucky enough as a child to have Cyborg, Muton, Android and the Amalok, because we had a fantastic little toy store in there that my dad would take me to from time to time, and I would get stuff bought for me. I was fairly lucky in that respect. None of the kids I knew had what I'm going to pull out next. This came slightly later on in the day. It was another thing to aid Cyborg in his battle against Muton and Android. They brought out a little space thing called Cyborg Interceptor, and these are the missiles that fire from here. I mean, even now, after 40 odd years, you can still feel the strength of the spring that's in there. I'm not going to fire them across here because I'll never find them again in this place. So you could buy that, but the thing that was better than that was the Cyborg Invader that this fitted inside. This one's seen better days, but that's the Cyborg Invader. There are missiles for it, but again, I'm not going to put them in and fire them across the room. I mean, these are great toys, you can still play with them, but to be honest, they are so flaming expensive sometimes in this country that playing with them could be a bad idea, because things get fairly fragile. Android in particular can be fragile. You drop him, you're going to chip his joints. The most obvious thing is you lose the missiles. And as a collector, they're just great to set up and actually imagine what your childhood would have been had you had this kind of stuff. You can always go further, you can always go take the collection one stage further, which I have in some ways, and that's when you go for the Cyborg Junior stuff, which is the Japanese henshin ones, which were this size. You had Cyborg, which were actually the 12-inch figures, and the smaller ones were the junior ones, and there was a whole collection of outfits for Cyborg. Got one of them here. This was an idea that they had, but they discarded that after a short while because it didn't sell as well as they expected, so they concentrated on other things as well. Anyway, that's a short, brief, very brief introduction to Cyborg, Muton, Android, and the little world of Cyborg and 5-year-old me. Might do another video about these kind of things in more detail, maybe actually drag out the 12-inch ones and show you them as well. But for the time being, that's it, and hopefully see you next time. Bye bye.